Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fond du Lac Area Women's Fund educational series, Project Table Talk. I'm Maria Turner, the Executive Director of the Women's Fund, and I'm joined here today by co-facilitator Erin, who is a member of our Board of Directors, as well as our guests, Theresa Menting, the Executive Director of Women's Empowerment Series, a program under the Goebel Family Foundation, and series participants, Syeda and Trisha. Today, we will dive into the programming offered to women and children here locally in the Fond du Lac area. So we'll just get started right away. Theresa, let's begin by letting our listeners in on how the concept of the series is set forth with you as the founder. Just give us an overview of the history of where you started to present day.
Yes. First of all, thank you for having us today. We're so excited to be here with all of you. A bit about women's empowerment. I worked at the Fond du Lac County Department of Social Services and saw this overwhelming need for women in the community who were just stuck and truly feeling lost. Many of them felt alone, like they didn't have anyone who really understood what they were going through. And they felt as if they didn't have this direction in life. So no matter the amount of referrals to community agencies that they were given from social workers, they still needed some sort of connection to other women, to other supporters, and a way to walk with them and take those steps, help take control back of their lives and to help them find themselves, giving them those tools for personal growth. So I started interviewing volunteers that used to be volunteering at Fond du Lac County and created this strategic development committee. And this response of this committee, it was overwhelming. It was just, we knew that we needed to do this because it was so crucial to so many different aspects of the women's lives, but also other people looking in. And they felt as if they couldn't help. So now giving this platform for other people to be able to serve and create a big change. So I started WES to address and meet those needs. And with the blessing of Fond du Lac County, Women's Empowerment Series was born. And we started our first set of classes. We connected women with mentors through these guided classes and built relationships, not only with each other, but with a sisterhood of women. So every year we have evolved to what those needs are of the community, what the needs are in our nation, and to the women that we serve, but also to their children. And we've throughout the years also created mirrored classes for them and their mentors as well. After 2 years in the county, we knew that the program was growing far beyond the need to serve in just a 8-week to 12-week class, and that we really needed to be there for these women year round. So in January of 2020, Fond du Lac County Department of Social Services, they gave us their blessing and allowed us to move into Goebel Family Foundation, a 501c3. But it was not an easy transition. We left the county, and 3 months into our move, we had 150 women and children all ready to go and mentors for our first class. And on day one, we had to postpone because of COVID. But we knew that we needed to act quickly, and that there were women that really had their life, their whole world depending on the class, that they really, this was their ticket for help. And we didn't give up on them, but we also had mentors that would need help. We had a community that would need help. We had a nation that needed help. So we created an empowerment exchange, a virtual empowerment exchange, which was an online class to serve all women. And we address topics from different pressing issues, basically focused on mental health, domestic violence and staying safe in your home, parenting as living in your home and still trying to manage an identity, And we were so grateful to have actually both of you, Erin and Maria, as two of our speakers in that class. It really helped us see and our focus of where it was and shifting it to not only labeled as participants, but opening those doors up for all women. And there are women who feel just as alone as the CEO of a company as a woman who literally has no one. So we really need to focus on breaking down those barriers and normalizing conversations. So over the last 4 years, 4.5 years, we've grown to better serve the needs of the women and children in our community. That immense need, it's always been there, it's always been here, but our goal is to continue to grow and meet that need. We're currently in our 8th week of our 4th series. So tonight we have class, and our series has evolved to several more programs and classes for women and children, from our volunteer work program, where women can earn points for volunteering and learning different skills as well. And those points they can redeem for birthday gifts and Christmas gifts. We've created a resource center, which Women's Fund has helped with a portion of our smart board, which we love and utilize for classes. We have online classes and small group classes, art therapy, and then year-round in-office services too. So that's the basis of WES, of how we've started and really have grown and where we are today.
That's wonderful. Thanks, Theresa. Like you mentioned, I've had the privilege of being a very small part of Women's Empowerment Series, as far as being able to be a participant and lead some material in a class. But tell us a little bit about how you're able to incorporate kids in this program as well, and how you also utilize mentors to support the needs of kids coming, not just the women coming to the program.
Absolutely. So we make a progression build on each week. So it wouldn't work if we just showed up day one and asked everyone to share about their addiction or unhealthy relationship. So instead, we really have to start with our overall health. And then we move into mental health and family patterns and our origin of family. And finally, addictions and fears and unhealthy relationships. And we end with focusing on the future by talking about what our passions are, our career readiness, and loving ourselves. So the kids have similar topics, and they also have mirrored classes as the moms. We partner with Marian University. We also have some amazing kids programming leaders. One is a school therapist at one of the local schools in town. We have different social workers and many different people who are involved in creating and developing those classes. But the topics are similar, because this isn't just about the women's growth, but it's their whole family. So by teaching those kids, we really are assisting in fostering healthy communication and conversation on the home, while seeing growth from everyone. So we have so many beautiful topics that we dig into, not only during our series, but throughout the year. So communication barriers and understanding diversity. That's a huge one, especially in a mentoring relationship. Someone might not understand why their child's another person's not talking to them, or why they're being picked on, or even with a mentor mentee in an adult relationship. Why is this woman not speaking to me, or does my mentor not like me? So it's really sitting down and being a facilitator for those relationships as well. Talking about something that Women's Fund is so passionate about is domestic violence and warning signs, healthy relationships, red flags. That is such a big thing to talk about, and it is something that you can say you understand domestic violence, but until we have we have a DV panel that comes out, and we really go into the depth of that, bringing in different community organizations and leaders to talk about that. Many of the women never knew they were in a domestic situation until they start learning all the different types of domestic violence. We talk about bereavement, career readiness, internet safety, self-care, the sharing your story and healing through trauma, sexual abuse, and then also incorporating for the women and the children a lot of art therapy, a lot of hands-on storytelling, um, journaling, and writing through your trauma, and then connecting. So a big thing that WS is very big on is relationships. So creating those relationships and having someone there that's going to empower you and inspire you to keep on that path. So that's something that we incorporate for our women and our children, and having those healthy conversations with your child on the way home. And what can we talk about? It's so fun to hear from the moms about how excited their kids are for classes every week, just as much as they are, and how they have their mentor that they get to go see every week. The students from Marion are, we have as kids crew mentors. So they each have their own buddy that is there for them every week, and they get to learn about them and they get to be with them and grow. So it's such a beautiful thing to see that progression between the entire family.
Thanks, Theresa, for giving us that really in-depth information regarding the programming. I love the idea of bringing in community to mentor the women, and then having resources for the kids, and just that whole cohesiveness amongst mom and children, I think, is super important. So part of that is for us to hear today from a couple of the participants that are currently involved in the series. So Trisha, you've been a part of this edition of the series. Can you tell us how you heard about the program and what your experience has been thus far?
Okay. I've always liked helping other people and empowering other people. And when I heard about this opportunity through W2, I was extremely excited. I did my work experience through women's empowerment for about 3 months. And then my mom passed away in May and my whole world fell apart. She was my rock. That helped me move up to Berlin 3 years ago and get out of an abusive relationship. After talking with Sandy and Theresa at the Women's Empowerment, I decided that the series would be a good opportunity for myself and the girls. This opportunity has helped myself and my family grow to be a happier family. The relationships and connections that not only myself, but my daughters are making has really helped me grow outside of my comfort zone. The body positivity class and the series have really taught me how to stand up for myself. And when something gets tough, I've learned to just keep pushing forward and not give up.
Thanks, Trisha. Obviously, that's it tugs at my heartstrings to know what you lost, and I'm very sorry for your loss. And on the flip side, also very happy that it led you here to find this wonderful supportive group of people. And I'm so glad that you said yes to the invitation to join them. So I think that really speaks about who you are as a person and the life that you're choosing for you and your girls. Syeda, you too have taken part in the series. So can you tell us a little bit about the skills that you've learned, or ways that you've grown that just supports kind of a happy, well-adjusted day-to-day life, personally or professionally?
Yes, so I initially found out about women's empowerment from work. There was like a flyer hanging up on the bulletin board, and it had the tabs that you pull, and it's like right by the restrooms. And I kept walking past it. They're always posting stuff. So to kill time so I don't have to go back to work, I'll just, look at the stuff. And I kept walking past it and nobody took a tab. And so the last time I went to the bathroom, it was probably days or so later. I was like, let me check it out because I'm always trying to progress and, grow. And I listen to motivational speakers and, stuff like that. And I'm like, this could kind of, piggyback off of that. Instead of just watching it, maybe I could, be a part of it. So I joined it. And what I can say most is I appreciate the resources because you don't know that it's out there all the time.
Mhm.
You need help with things and you can look to other people and everybody's got something going on and it's like, well, what can we do? There are resources. And a program like this is good to have because you have that support, you have that sisterhood, and it's a good thing to help you grow and come out of whatever situation that you need. And then you can meet people, cultivate great relationships. My mentor, she's a great person. She's very bubbly. I love her. Like she's great. And she's actually giving me resources outside of women's empowerment. And I'm just like, I'm grateful for that. So I appreciate the program a whole lot. My daughter, she likes it. I got my niece in there. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. And they love the program. So I would say it's not so much about the skills, but the resources I've acquired.
Yeah, that's a great point. Sometimes it's just about having somebody to show you what's available to you.
Yep. Yep.
It's not lack of desire, it's not lack of, of ability, it's just not knowing that a resource is there. And so that connection along with, I mean, the way you lit up when you talked about your mentor, kind of makes me
Yeah.
want to cry because
Yeah.
it's so I just can't say enough about how important I know community is for all of us to have, and to
Yeah, and it's just nice to see that there are other people out there, different walks of life, that have, some of the same struggles. And it's like you're in situations and you feel alone, but then you go to this wonderful place and it's just like the energy is great, everybody's smiling, and even if you walk in without a smile, you're gonna leave feeling better. And that's what I love about it the most.
Yeah. Yeah. Well
Yep.
said. Very well said. Um, Theresa, I know that you received a grant from the Women's Fund this year, as you mentioned, to partially fund a smart board for your participants and to do some virtual classes for your participants, which we all know in this day and age is like a necessity. So can you tell us just a little bit about how community partnerships like this help you to lift up women and children in Fond du Lac?
Oh, absolutely. We have been able to work with community partners such as the Women's Fund in a variety of ways, whether it be funding or collaborating on events or ideas, or simply supporting each other's initiatives, which is so important. Like Syeda said, there's so many community resources that she learned about just at class. And many times we so often agencies or social workers or case managers or just family members may say, well, I've told them about that agency or I've told them to go get help from there. You can say something to somebody how many times, but it's seeing another person go through that and telling their story of how it's not scary and the steps that they took to get that support and that help. So it's not always just throwing a informational packet at somebody. It's really showing the change that that place has made and the impact. And that's what's so important is painting the picture for all of those agencies and bringing them to life and showing it in a way that's not scary for someone. But when we help each other's organizations and when things like this happen, like the Women's Fund supporting us, and we work together and build our stronger organization for lifting up our women and our children in Fond du Lac, and we're supporting each other. So working together, it makes so many great things happen. Things that, you know, these agencies are all possible because of community support, because of community donors, because of community help. You can have a plethora of volunteers, which we are so gracious to have. But at the end of the day, in order to have all of these great things, we want to have the resources and the tools of the smart board and a safe space for women to go, and a library for them to come and read and learn, and be able to sit with their mentor and cry and talk and laugh. And our office has women in every single day doing their hands. They did an art therapy project, and they've been painting their hands in the office every day. We have glitter all over right now. It's pretty great. Know me and glitter. So it's just such a wonderful, it brings life, and joining agencies together bring life to a community. And actually next week is our resource fair. We have 30 different community agencies that come together. They're actually going to trick or treat. The kids get to all dress up and go to each of the agencies and trick or treat. And the women, everybody's dressing up. Agencies, the women, we're having a contest to see if the women are dressing as the best duo with their mentors. So there's like some competition here for some good prizes. But it's putting that face to that agency, and they can walk with their mentor and not be fearful to schedule an appointment. They know they have to go to a stop, but they might be too scared to walk in the door. But now all of a sudden they see this friendly person dressed up as Batman, and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to definitely set up an appointment because this person is great. They want to see the relatability. And that's what's super important, is showing that we are all so similar. We are all more alike than we are different. And we are more different than we are alike. It's both ways, but we do have many of the same feelings, and we are all in this together. So that's the important thing, is painting that picture of unity. And one thing I just want to say, when both of them mentioned the class, one of my most favorite things is walking in the classroom and you have no idea what anyone does for a living. You have no idea if someone is homeless. You have no idea if someone is a doctor. You have no idea. Every single person is in that room going through the same things. And those that come in as mentors many times have no idea that they're just as much a participant, learning about themselves and growing, because we have to constantly be working on ourselves too. So it's just such a beautiful thing when Syeda said that, because you walk into that room and it is full of life, and everyone's story and background is completely different.
Yeah, I love that piece of the concept, I think, as women. And I don't know how this came to be, but I think we're constantly going around thinking that there's so many differences between our lives and the lives of other women. And the more that I spend time with women in every age bracket, there is commonality. You know, what I went through when I was in my 20s is not totally the same as what 20-something women are going through now, but there is a life cycle of being a woman, right? And so I've passed that 50 mark now, so I'm in the over 50 club, and you know, I can relate to so much that has occurred with women in their 30s, women in their 40s, and so I love the idea that come together with no titles, because I think that we get in these spaces where we kind of hang our worth on a title, and then people judge us about, you know, various things like, well, she wouldn't be approachable because she's got the title of executive director, or, you know, those sorts of things. And it's just, when you really get to know people, those things don't matter. And so great to hear how Syeda shared, you know, she walks in there and she feels so welcome, right? Because none of those outside, I'm this or I'm that matter when you're all trying to work toward common goals of personal growth and development. So super inspiring to hear that piece of things. I love that the kids are involved in all of that as well. You have a fundraiser coming up. Tell us just briefly about what that involves, and give us a website or a phone number where people can find out about that.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for letting us. We are so excited. This is our first ever fundraiser for Women's Empowerment Series, and we would love to have everyone's support there. So we're doing dueling pianos on November 16th at the Radisson. We have a blind autistic music savant. He's nationally known in Dr. Dale Treffert's book, Island of Genius. There's a whole TV movie show about him. He will be there. Also, Tony Kitanakis is a jazz professor and was on the Jay Leno show, and he can play 38 instruments. It's going to be a night of fun. We have improv, and then we have some really beautiful things that we will be sharing with WES as well. It's going to be a night of fun. So you can get tickets on hometowntickets.com. We also have a really fabulous raffle. If you go on our Facebook page, you can see a beautiful ring from Goldsmith is one of the prizes, a year of flowers from Woods Floral. So a bouquet a month, and you can choose when you get it. So like could choose it for Christmas or somebody's birthday, and then 2 MVP Packer food deck tickets to the Bears Packer game. So we have those raffle tickets as well. Those tickets are available at Woods Floral, Goldsmith, Blue Marble Botanicals, Goebel Insurance, and our WS office. So we would love to see you guys there. We would love to have the community show up and show your support. It's going to be a fantastic event.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to know the way the agency has been growing. You know, whenever you start a new agency, Theresa, it is rolling up your sleeves. I know you've put in tons of personal sweat equity to make this dream a reality for the women in the community. So good job in doing that, and good job in engaging so many people to assist you with that. We are really pleased to do our small part at the Women's Fund, and you know, just look forward to seeing where your agency is going to continue to grow in the future. So thank you for everything you're doing. Ladies, Syeda and Trisha, thank you for coming today and sharing your stories. I know that, you know, so often it's difficult to come forth and give insights into needing help from other people, and why as a society we judge that, I have no idea, because show me the person, especially women, that has not needed help at some point in our lifetime. We've all been there, and to normalize that is super important. That is really the goal of what we do at the Women's Fund in terms of our community education, this Project Table Talk series, but other things we're doing is to just really bring this out into the public and let people know that we are have a lot more similarities at times, and we all can use a helping hand, and not to judge that. Like, we're not here to judge people. That is not why we've been placed on this earth. We've been placed here to help. And so thank you for coming forward, being brave to let people know that it is not shameful to ever ask for help. It is not shameful to ever work toward improving yourself. So thanks and great work. Keep it up. That, my friends, ends this edition of Project Table Talk. I'm grateful once again for the guests that we've had here today from Women's Empowerment Series. We will be seeing you again at 1 o'clock on Thursday, November 11th, as we discuss another topic that bolsters our mission of facilitating bold change for women and girls in the Fond du Lac area. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.